There is a war happening inside you, not out in the world, not in your bank account, not on social media, but in the silence between your thoughts, in the space between who you are and who you could become. Every morning you wake up, you are faced with two choices: master your mind or let it master you. That voice in your head, the one whispering that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that it's too late, it doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about survival, safety, comfort, and comfort is the enemy of greatness. You weren't born to play small. You weren't designed to just get by. You are the culmination of generations of risk-takers, builders, warriors, thinkers, and believers. And yet, most people live and die without ever learning to command their own mind. Why? Because the mind is the most powerful force on earth and the most dangerous one, if left undirected. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb with a calm, passive mind. He failed over 10,000 times before he succeeded. Why? Because his dominant thought was, it can be done. That thought wasn't a wish, it was a weapon. And every time the world told him to quit, he fought back with belief. You don't rise to the level of your intentions, you fall to the level of your thinking. So ask yourself this: are you controlling your thoughts or are they controlling you? Are you planting seeds of power or weeds of doubt? The mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant resentment, jealousy, fear, and laziness, don't be surprised when failure blossoms in your life. But if you choose to plant focus, gratitude, discipline, and persistence, life will yield you a harvest of results. This isn't motivational fluff. It's physics. Cause and effect. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs shape identity. Identity drives action. Action creates reality. And it all begins in that invisible world behind your forehead, your mind. Napoleon Hill said it best: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let that sink in. Not just conceive, but believe. Because belief is not passive. Belief is fuel. It's fire. And until you believe with such intensity that nothing can shake you, the world will push you around like a leaf in the wind. Do you think Henry Ford had all the answers when he said, "I'm going to build a car that every man can own"? No, but he had belief, and belief is louder than facts. Belief defies odds. Belief makes the impossible look like a checklist. Most people are imprisoned by their own minds. They talk about freedom, but they're shackled to fear, distraction, overthinking, and excuses. But let me tell you something: the people who win at life aren't the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who learn how to think differently. They develop clarity of purpose. They discipline their thoughts like a soldier sharpens his sword. They don't react to life, they direct it. Your mind is your CEO, your operating system. But most people are running on outdated software, fear-based programming installed by their parents, their teachers, their failures, their pain. And if you don't consciously rewrite that code, it will keep running your life on autopilot. You will keep sabotaging your own progress. You will keep hesitating when you should leap. You will keep shrinking in moments where you should roar. So how do you change it? You decide. Decide that your life is yours. Decide that you will no longer be a slave to old thought. Decide that from this day forward your mind works for you, not against you. That's not a one-time decision, that's a daily battle. And it begins the moment your alarm goes off. The world doesn't owe you focus. You have to claim it. Before the noise of the world enters, you must declare who you are, what you believe, and what you're building. Before your phone lights up with someone else's agenda, lock in your own, because if you don't, the world will shape your thoughts for you, and you will live a life designed by other people's opinions. Clarity is power. Clarity is what gives you direction in the storm. When you don't know what you want, your mind wanders, and a wandering mind is the devil's playground. But when you're locked in, when your vision is so clear you can feel it in your bones, every step becomes intentional. Every morning has purpose. Every obstacle becomes a test, not a tombstone. You want to master your mind? Start by mastering your mornings. You want to change your life? Start by changing your internal language. When you say, "I'm tired," your body listens. When you say, "I don't have time," your schedule agrees. When you say, "I'm not good enough," the world reflects that belief back to you. But when you say, "I was built for this," when you say, "My vision is non-negotiable," when you say, "I will not stop until the job is done," your entire physiology changes. Your voice deepens, your back straightens, your eyes sharpen, because the body follows the mind, always. You think greatness starts with talent. No, it starts with ownership, taking full, brutal, unrelenting responsibility for your mind, not blaming your past, not blaming your environment, because the truth is, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails, and your sails are your thoughts. The wind may hit hard, life may be unfair, people may betray you, but your response, that's yours to command. And here's where most people get it wrong. They wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation. They wait for clarity to land on their lap. But winners don't wait. Winners create. They train their mind until it no longer negotiates with fear. They understand that discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Because when your mind is disciplined, distractions die. When your mind is focused, doubt dissolves. When your mind is committed, the universe conspires. Let's be clear. The life you want, the one you see in flashes during your quietest moments, is not built with emotion. It's built with discipline. Discipline of thought. Discipline of focus. Discipline of effort. You don't rise because you feel like it. You rise because you decided to rise and then followed through, even when it was hard, especially when it was hard. When you master your mind, you don't negotiate with your excuses. You don't hope you'll do the right thing. You train your mind so relentlessly that the right thing becomes second nature. Success is not a mystery. It's not luck. It's not fate. It's alignment. When your thoughts, beliefs, actions, and vision are aligned, you become dangerous to anything that tries to stop you. Walt Disney was fired from his first job because they said he lacked imagination. Imagine that. Imagine the mind it took to hear that rejection and still believe. Disney didn't argue with the world. He outcreated it because he knew something most people forget. Your mind is the architect of your future, and if the world doesn't give you the castle you want, you don't complain. You go inside your mind and start building brick by brick until the world has no choice but to recognize what you already knew. When you understand this, setbacks don't destroy you. They sharpen you. Failure doesn't stop you. It informs you. You stop running from pain and you start transforming it. Every great achiever, Lincoln, Carnegie, Jobs, Oprah, they all had one thing in common. They took control of their inner world before they ever won in the outer world. They weren't chasing validation. They weren't driven by trends or applause. They were obsessed with vision, and vision is louder than circumstance. Your life will change the moment you stop outsourcing your power, the moment you stop waiting for someone to choose you, the moment you stop asking the world for permission to rise. You want purpose? Create it. You want focus? Protect it. You want strength? Earn it. In silence, in sweat, in solitude. You will never become the person you're meant to be by following the habits of the person you used to be. So if you want change, burn the script, burn the lies, because the truth is the real enemy is not out there. It's the voice inside your mind telling you you're not ready. That voice is a liar, and it's time you stop giving it the mic. But you don't need a miracle, you need a mirror and the courage to face it. Who are you when no one's watching? When there are no cameras, no likes, no praise. That's where mastery begins, in the quiet hours when the world is asleep and your future is wide awake. You think greatness feels good all the time? No, it feels lonely. It feels repetitive. It feels boring sometimes, but mastery isn't about being entertained. It's about being committed. You're not planting seeds for today. You're planting forests for decades. And your mind must be strong enough to wait, to endure, to stay focused when nothing around you is changing. Because the mind that wins is the one that does not flinch in the face of delay. It doesn't chase dopamine, it chases dominion over self. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a mental weapon. A grateful mind cannot be broken by scarcity. It sees progress in the smallest steps. It builds wealth from within. Gratitude sharpens your vision. It reminds your mind that you are not empty, you are already equipped with breath, with time, with the ability to choose again, to begin again. And what a gift that is to have the power to start over, not just in the world, but in your own mind. Let me tell you something very few will. The reason you're stuck is because you haven't yet declared what you will no longer tolerate. Until you draw a line in the sand, until you say no more, not another day, not another year like this, nothing will change, because the mind responds to clarity, not comfort, not delay, not half promises, clarity. Burn the plan B. Erase the backup escape. Close the side door. You're either all in or you're not in at all, and your mind knows the difference. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are, and you are whatever your dominant thoughts tell you are, day after day, year after year. So if your life feels chaotic, inconsistent, average, it's not because you're cursed. It's because your mind has not yet been given an uncompromising mission. Purpose is not found, it is forged. Forged in reflection, forged in solitude, forged in those long nights when doubt is loud and belief is barely a whisper, but you choose belief anyway. And that choice, that's where it all begins. Not in a course, not in a book, not in a speech, but in the deepest, rawest corner of your mind, where nobody claps for you, nobody applauds, and nobody knows, except you. That's where champions are born. That's where empires begin. Not with noise, but with an idea so powerful it rearranges your identity from the inside out. Let me ask you something. When did you stop believing? When did you decide that your dreams were too unrealistic, your potential too far away? When did you hand the keys to your mind over to fear? Because make no mistake, that's what happens when you stop leading your mind. It gets led by the world, by fear, by mediocrity, by other people's limited thinking. And suddenly you're not living, you're existing. You're not building, you're reacting. You're not awake, you're drifting. But you were never meant to drift. You were built to direct. The mind is like fire. Uncontrolled, it will consume everything. But when mastered, it becomes the light that forges steel, the heat that fuels transformation, the torch that leads nations. Abraham Lincoln, before he ever led a country, led himself. He battled crushing depression, failure after failure in business and politics. But what kept him from collapsing? Vision. A vision bigger than his pain. A vision more powerful than the fear within. You don't rise when life gets easy. You rise when your reason becomes bigger than your resistance. They want success, but they haven't attached it to something deeper than a number or a car or a lifestyle. They haven't made it personal. They haven't made it spiritual. They haven't made it urgent. Because once you do that, once your mind locks onto a reason that shakes your soul, your excuses evaporate, your doubts dissolve, your distractions lose their pull, and what's left is a focused human being on fire with intention. You've been lied to. You've been told your potential is genetic, that your intelligence is fixed, that your dreams need to be realistic, that your pain disqualifies you. But the truth is, your pain qualifies you. It sharpens your edge. It gives weight to your voice. It gives depth to your presence. The mind that has suffered and chosen growth is more powerful than the mind that's never been tested. All full trumpets, upflast Lachère, resilience isn't built when things are going well. It's built in the desert, in the silence, in the delay, in the days when nobody believes in you and all you have is a quiet whisper, keep going. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you choose growth over excuses, you are mastering the most powerful force on earth. You understand this. The people at the top didn't get there because they were better than you. They just demanded more from their mind. They rewired their inner narrative. They redefined what was possible. They refused to let other people's fear become their ceiling. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They executed while others hesitated. They stayed in motion while others waited for motivation. They didn't have more time, they had more focus. And you don't need another year to pass before you change. You need one moment of truth, one moment where you stand up, not physically, but mentally, and say no more. This mind is mine. This life is mine. This mission is mine. You say it so clearly, so fully, so relentlessly, that every cell in your body gets the message. That's not some rah-rah motivational speech. That's neural conditioning. You train your nervous system to follow your vision. You teach your emotions to serve your goals. You remind your spirit that it is not here to shrink, but to expand. But you can still move with power. You can still act with courage. Because true strength isn't about the absence of fear. It's about walking forward while fear screams at you to turn back. That is mental mastery. When the storm rages inside and you still move forward. When the weight of self-doubt is heavy, but you still show up. That's what builds confidence. Action, not affirmation. Stop worshiping potential and start executing power, because the clock is ticking and the cost of a distracted mind is a wasted life. Your phone, your past, your comfort zone, none of it is worth your future. None of it is worth your peace. None of it is worth your destiny. You get one mind, one. So what will you do with it? Feed it or poison it? Train it or neglect it? Master it or serve it? Because here's the truth. If you don't run your mind, someone else will. Let this land with force. You are not your thoughts. You are the commander of your thoughts. You are not your past. You are the writer of what happens next. You are not your circumstances. You are the builder of what comes after. The mind is a tool, not a master. And like any powerful tool, it must be trained, sharpened, directed, or it will destroy everything in its path. A blade left unattended rusts. A fire left uncontained burns down cities. A mind left unmanaged wastes lives. And right now, in this very moment, you have the opportunity to reclaim it, to reclaim you. This isn't just about success, it's about freedom. Freedom from overthinking, freedom from fear, freedom from the noise of a world that wants to keep you average. Because when your mind is mastered, the world changes. Not because it changes, but because you do. You start speaking differently, moving differently, deciding differently, and the world starts responding to the new blueprint you've built within. Not because it suddenly respects you more, but because you finally respect yourself. So many people will never see what they're capable of because they never meet the version of themselves that disciplines their mind. They stay on the surface. They chase quick hits of success and shallow approval, while inside they're drowning. But those who rise, those who leave a legacy, those who walk into rooms and shift the energy without saying a word, they've met their deeper self, they've gone into the shadows of their mind and pulled out light, they've faced the dragons of doubt and walked out holding the fire, not in theory, in truth. And it's not somewhere out there. It's not locked behind a guru or a secret or a system. It's already in you, right now. But that version of you is buried under years of conditioning, under decades of noise, under layers of insecurity, comparison, fear, and fake identities. So if you want to meet that version of you, you're going to have to dig with honesty, with hunger, with a warrior's discipline, and a builder's patience. You're going to have to strip away everything that doesn't serve, burn the false stories, delete the limiting labels, and look in the mirror long enough to see the truth, not the ego. This is what mastering your mind really means. It means waking up and choosing your thoughts instead of letting them choose you. It means getting uncomfortable on purpose. It means understanding that temporary pain is cheaper than lifelong regret. It means getting brutally honest about where you are and even more brutally committed to where you're going. It means rewriting the story, and this time making yourself the hero, not the victim. Yes, the world will test you over and over again, but the mind that is trained, the mind that is armed with vision, with belief, with clarity and conviction, that mind cannot be defeated. It might bleed, it might bend, but it will not break, because its roots run deep, because its roots are not in results, they're in identity, and identity is the most powerful force on earth. Not what you do, but who you've decided you are. And once you decide that, once you declare, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and this is what I will not settle for, your mind goes to war for you, not against you. You don't need a better opportunity. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You need to own your inner world like your life depends on it. Because it does. This is where your future is forged, not in some fantasy, but in the next decision you make. So choose strength. So choose clarity, choose discipline, choose gratitude, choose vision, because when you choose your thoughts, you choose your destiny. Let this be the day you stop playing small. Let this be the hour your mind stops being your jailer and becomes your weapon. Let this be the moment you take back the throne, not just of your mind, but of your entire life. You want change? Then earn it, build it, suffer for it, sacrifice for it, bleed for it if you must, but do not break, because the world may not give you a second chance, but your mind, it will, if you lead it, if you command it, if you demand from it nothing short of excellence. You were not born to be mastered. You were born to master. You were born to master.